it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. Listen, I've expected that you guys have hit 1,000 likes here, so this video is coming out Sunday, midday. If you haven't hit 1,000 likes, then God knows when this video is out. But love for the love as always, people. Make sure you hit the like button on this one. Make sure you're subscribed to Grizz, Matisse, Steve, Tobes, and Saeed. All links in the description below. As well as FM London. They obviously sponsor the Big Six live show twice a week, every week. They've made this possible, so show some love. There's 10% off zip-up hoodies and 10% off joggers in the description below. There's also boxers, socks, jumpers, all of that. Basics, affordable, good quality. If you need anything, use those links so they know you're coming through us. And love for the love, because that'll show an awful lot of support for us, man, here. And let's get into it. We done centre-backs yesterday. I hope you guys have voted for your 6th choice centre-back in the pinned comment in that video. If you haven't, go back, watch that video and vote for who deserves the 6th spot in the top 6 centre-backs of the Premier League era. And you're going to do the same today. Who deserves 6th spot in the top 6 full-backs of the Premier League era? We're going to run down the top 5. We're going to work it out between us and make it make sense. Let's start with number 5. Let me go at number 5, Lee Dixon. I'm going straight in with Lee Dixon. I know a few of you here won't, understand why I'm saying him, but he was part of one of the best defences this league has seen. He was efficient. He was a leader from that position too. Yes, when you look at modern day fullbacks and what they bring, it's easy to dismiss some of the old school fullbacks off the back of quality. But Dixon had quality there. Grizz, I see you whispering. What are you whispering?
No, I'm whispering. I was trying to see his list.
City fan as well, Dixon.
Oh yeah, he's a City fan, isn't it?
Yeah.
City fan, Arsenal legend.
I voted Lee Dixon.
They go well together.
Number 5.
You voted Lee Dixon 5 as well?
Lee Dixon 5.
Get in. I thought I might have been the only one that voted for him.
I grew up in that Arsenal side was like Winterburn, Dixon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Adams, so I respected him. I thought he was an old school fullback, very reliable. He was. I don't think in the modern game now, I don't think he'd be. The fullback position's evolved so much. You know what I mean? Fullbacks are almost like wingers now. You know what I mean? They're expected to bomb on and bomb on. I think Lee Dixon was first of all a good defender. Some of these modern fullbacks, like Trent, can't defend, but it is what it is. But Lee Dixon, Lee Dixon's for me. Lee Dixon for me is my number 5. Big up Lee Dixon, man. He was great to watch.
2 votes for Lee Dixon, man.
You've actually gone for Lee Dixon?
Yeah, number 5.
All right. I'm going to go for Dennis Irwin.
Quality, quality.
I think for me, like I said, I saw him towards the tail and back of his career, but still, he was still efficient then. The goals he scored from fullback, nobody talks about it.
Great,
you know what I mean?
great player.
For me, like I said to you, people say he's scored lots of penalties, free kicks is in there,
He was both-footed though.
Both-footed as well, play on the left, play on the right. For me, reliable. When you talk about reliable, Dennis Irwin was that guy for me. Doesn't get respected enough. You would argue for me it should be a bit higher, but again, you have to assess everything. You have to look at the greats of the fullback, because the fullback era is a strong position. But for me, like I said to you, Dennis Irwin, you know what I mean, gave us so many years at Old Trafford, and he would go into the United all-time 11. When you look at it, and that is no means feat. When you look at the amount of players we've got in third generation, I'm going to go for Dennis Irwin. Unbelievable.
He was a great
player.
pro as well. I think a lot of footballers, ex-pros, if you mention or you watch certain podcasts, they always mention Dennis Irwin, because I think he's Mr. Dependable, isn't it?
Yes.
He turned up, did his job. You never heard anything off the pitch.
Always at 7, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Could take free kicks, you know what I mean? He could play left, play right.
I had him at number 5. I just put it out there as well.
Dennis Irwin, great player.
Dennis Irwin, so underrated.
Yeah, great
I grew
player.
up him ruining, so many games for me as a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
We speak about modern fullbacks now assisting and goal scoring, right? Irwin was doing it 20 years ago, man.
Yeah.
However long that was ago, and obviously we know how important it is now. It was very important then as well. He'd pop up with a free kick. His set pieces were unreal. People don't talk about his ability to take free kicks. The ultimate professional, so far from this Man United team. Like dog shit. Bunch of amateurs now, but then he was like, he was like a role model. Quiet, get on with his job. None of this fancy Dan stuff, but a proper footballer. That's what you call a proper footballer.
And the fact that I mentioned it, the fact that he was 2-footed used to annoy me so much back in the day.
Yeah, people talk about Philip Lahm.
It was so tricky. Even now, 2-footed players are rare, let alone back then. And he was one in a fullback position. And listen, I'm mentioning he's an Irish legend as well. I'm getting that in there. Big up Matisse there.
What about what's the other one?
Who?
The Irish legend that he talks about.
Oh, Doherty.
Yeah.
Man, don't listen.
I'm just. That job where
Yeah, but he said the one he talks about, like he moves his head like this. Like, who the fuck said he's an Irish legend?
Not Damien Duff, not Robbie Keane. Matt Doherty.
We have 2 votes for Owen, 2 votes for Dixon. Tobbs.
I'm gonna go left field. I'm gonna go Kyle Walker, man.
That's who I had.
I'm gonna go Kyle
I had
Walker.
I had Kyle Walker at 6. I had Kyle Walker at my 6.
Yeah,
Is it because he had a few good years?
But again, younger crowd, innit? I get that.
Yeah, of course.
I initially put him
get
at
that.
6, and I was thinking ever 5th, but then I thought, you know what? No, like
He's had long years, you know.
I'm like
Walker's very underrated,
Kyle
Kyle.
Walker. When you deep it now, this is so. I would say Kyle Walker. He smashed it when he first burst onto the scene for Spurs. He got PFA Team of the Year at the age of like 20 years old, and then he dipped. Fell out of form, had injuries and whatnots. But when Pochettino came in the season after that, so I count from 2015. From 2015, we're now in 2022.
7 years.
I can't remember any of these years where Kyle Walker has legitimately had below a 6 out of 10
efficient,
season.
yeah.
And
6?
below a 6 out of 10 season. I can't.
Okay.
He's had. Don't get it twisted.
He wants to rebuttal that.
No, he probably will. But I'm not saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying that like he's not had his dips. Of course he's had these dips. Like there's been times where he's been Pepper's probably gone with someone else for a prolonged period of time in the Man City team. But like Kyle Walker for me, he's just quality, man. Like he's an athlete. He's got the technical quality as well when he passes as well. Like he's comfortable with the ball. You see him play for England as well. He can play in the back three. He can play right back. Like he's a quality fullback, and I think he's a fullback that a lot of people don't give him enough respect.
He's a massive part of what Manchester City do, because Manchester City play so expansive and so high up the pitch. Teams can counter us, but they can't counter us when Kyle Walker's there.
Exactly.
Kyle Walker, he's got Manchester City out of so much shit. I've seen teams break on us 2v1s, 1v1s. Kyle Walker, and I'm relaxed when it's a one-on-one. I think it's Kyle Walker. If it's Laporte chasing him down, I think shit. But with Kyle Walker, I think no, it's right. And the only way sometimes Kyle Walker gets above his station, gets a little bit excited, starts to overlap Mahrez. Mahrez loses the ball. Shit, we're under it. Yeah. And that's the only thing. But Kyle Walker, for me as a Man City fan, he's so underrated. He's a big part of what we do. He came to Manchester City with a big fee. Everyone was saying, 50 million for a fullback. It's a snip. It's a snip.
Very
At the end of the day,
For
it's a
you,
snip.
Lippe,
And it's a snip.
50 million.
At the end of the day.
You know what's funny about this? I remember that summer, I bet my friend, I said, I bet you this guy goes for 50 million. He goes, no way, he's not that good. I won £100 off that because I said, Man City are going to pay top dollar for this guy because they know the
Pep
play
wanted
that
him.
they're
We
getting.
had 2 full-backs that season, Gail Clichy and
Sanyo.
Sanyo.
Sanyo wasn't that bad.
Coming to the end,
He's
yeah, but they
getting
were
old,
too
getting
old.
old, yeah,
And
yeah,
what
I
Pep
know.
wanted to do, them 2 couldn't cope.
Yeah.
He rid the season out with them, then he replaced it, you know what I mean? One left-back we ain't going to speak about, the other right-back, Walker, brilliant.
And
Sound.
it's no coincidence as well. All of Man City's title-winning campaigns, who's been their main
Exactly.
marquee
Yeah,
starting,
he's been always
starting
there.
right
Look
back?
at his
Marcelo's gone
career.
onto the left-hand side now.
When Kyle Walker retires, you look at Kyle Walker's career and look at the trophies and the Centurions and all that thing that he's done, and you've got to respect it.
Yeah.
This is the first time this has happened. 3 videos in, we've got a tie. 2 votes for Walker, 2 votes for Erwin, 2 votes for
What did
Dixon.
you say?
I went with Walker as well. Walker had to be in there
what
because
we're gonna
he's
do-
consistent.
Lovely.
He's consistent.
And you know what is
Oh, shut up with his handshake.
Why are you hating? Why are you hating?
Me and Toby agreeing a lot. It's not going to last though.
You know,
So-
the thing is, people can get at him. Like at times, his positioning is poor, and when he gets into the final third, at times sometimes he doesn't think. But like I think when you look at everything that he
complete
brings,
package.
when you look at the positives, it massively
Way
outweighs the
outweighs.
negatives.
It's
It's mad.
Can I ask you a question?
There's no
That's the
imperfect.
question. Do you think Trent could be a better fullback than Kyle Walker?
I think, again, this conversation's happening whilst Trent is 23 years old, while he's only been
I
playing
expect
fullback
him
for
to.
4 years. By the time Trent finishes his career, there's no doubt in my mind that Trent will be number 1 on the list. But right now, Kyle Walker, I can't argue everything
Ahead
that
of
Steve
Ashley
says. Trent will end up ahead of Ashley Cole for sure. But right now,
I don't agree with that.
that's fine.
I
no
say
problem.
second.
I think second.
But you
That's
need
fine,
to
that's
be able
fine.
to defend to be able
I don't
to
agree.
go.
No
to
problem.
go
And this
play
notion
at
about
the top.
defending, like, you know.
Yeah, but we're talking about one of the best ever defenders from the
coaches are
fullback
coming out
position.
and realizing and telling people that
Who's
people
the other fullback?
But I think
we spoke about Rio Ferdinand. We spoke about Rio Ferdinand being one of the most intelligent defenders that we've seen, and we put him 1 or 2, didn't we? And Rio Ferdinand said, if people that don't know that Trent, people that are still saying Trent can't defend, need to come and.
He's average at defending. He's average at defending.
No, it's not. I don't
He's not
think
average.
No, not average, but his weak point is this.
What I would do,
But that's not the point. That's not the point.
I would be tempted to go into number 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do,
And then
yeah.
if there's some sort of balance, then
Yeah, yeah.
we'll just agree with it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So Walker, Dixon, and Irwin are tied number 5. We're going to move into 4-3-2-1. If any of those names get mentioned and put into 4-3-2 or 1, then we take them off 5th place, and then there might be a tie for 5th place. It is what it is.
This is where number 4 goes in
Number 4.
because I've got for Gary Neville.
Wait. Can I just say, has anyone voted for a player that's in the 5th place at this moment in time? I voted for Irwin 4th, so I'm out of this one.
Who did I just voted Irwin as
went
5th.
Irwin as well.
Yeah.
I thought it was 5th
But
as
we're
well.
moving 4th now.
Have you got any of the players mentioned in above 5th, like Walker or
In 4th,
Dixon?
have you got Dixon, Irwin, or Walker?
No.
No?
No.
No? All right, so we start with you then.
For me, Gary Neville.
Quite low.
For 4th, yeah, because when you look at the...
Oh shit! No, I have. I've got Walker.
All right, so me and you are
Sorry.
avoiding this one. Irwin
Okay.
and Walker.
I've
So
got
if
Irwin
there's
and
a
Walker.
tie break, we break
Have
that
you got
one.
Irwin and Walker same as well, 5th and 4th?
No, I've got Irwin 4th. Because
Okay,
he
I've
was
got
put in
Walker
5th.
4th.
Yeah. So our players are already in 5th place.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got for Gary Neville. And a lot of players will say, we're talking about Said, man, limited footballer, not really technical. But when you look at what a right back's meant to do, up and down that touch line, give an outlet, and to play under Beckham, I think one of the most, for me, not formidable partnerships, but the most, efficient partnerships on the overlap, to the point where Gary Neville could cross, not as great as Beckham, but, could cross unbelievably.
It's an outlet, and it was.
Yeah, it was an outlet, and for me, it was efficient, and he'd done it for numerous of years. Okay, tailed off towards, I would say, 2003-04. His legs started to go, and then we started to see a more reduced role. Wes Brown would go and play right back sometimes and whatnot. But for me, I think longevity, the trophies he's won. Okay, we shouldn't use that as a reason why he's in there.
No, I think you've got to use it though.
Hey,
I think
well,
you've
you
got
got
to
to use it.
use it.
Yeah,
With him.
leader, captain. And I think for me, reliable. Late 90s, early 2000s, relentless, that leadership in the back, for a right back. Not many leaders right back. But we had
But
one.
Yeah. Alex Ferguson loved him. If you don't get in Alex Ferguson's teams, if you're not good, end of story.
There
You
you
don't
go.
win them trophies, trebles, and all that if you're not good. And the thing is with Gary Neville as well, he was a red, so the United fans got him, and he got the United fans. Listen, there's no better. If you're a football supporter at Anfield, and Gary Neville's winding the Scousers up, that's what you want to see. I'm sure the Liverpool fans want to see the Liverpool players winding United players up. We had it with Tevez and all that. It's good, it's all part of football, but Gary Neville was a great... I didn't particularly like him as a player because he always spoke down about City, but as a pundit now, and in his career, you take a step back, you grow up a bit, you look and you think, yeah, Gary Neville. And at the end of the day, yeah, I can't argue it. I've got him higher, but...
One-on-one, one of the best fullbacks I've seen play.
Yeah.
Very few beat him one-on-one, I can't lie.
Absolutely. I just think for me, like City, reliable and efficient. And that's what a fullback is, reliable, efficient.
Yeah, especially them times.
Flair and all that, come on, man. You've got other players to do that. Reliable, efficient. Are you there week in, week out? Give me an 8 out of 10. And for me, you're rated highly. I've gone for number 4. Are you gone for 4, Gary?
No, I've gone for Pablo Zabaleta.
Oh, I've gone for him. But yeah, go on.
And the reason I've gone with Pablo, because Pablo Zabaleta, he came into Man City, couldn't speak a word of English, didn't know whether he was a DM, didn't know whether he was a fullback, just got English football, just got about where Man City was going, and he knuckled down and improved. When he came to Manchester City, he wasn't a player he was excited about. It was Pablo Zabaleta. But you know what? He gave 100% every game. He improved, he learnt, and he made that fullback position his own. And I remember Gary Neville saying once that Pablo Zabaleta at the time was the best fullback in that Premier League, and he was. And he bled blue. And there's a lot of big players have left Man City the last few years. But when he left, there was grown-ass men crying, because I think Pablo Zabaleta, to see a player come in and know, look, I'm not the greatest, but I'm going to give it my all, I'm going to try my best and do that.
It goes a long way.
And then he kept doing it. And every week, week in, week out, Pablo Zabaleta put a shift in for Manchester City, and we knew what we were getting with Pablo. And to come in the fastest, biggest in league in the world, and learn and grow into it, it's great to see. Some fullbacks come and you'd think, this kid's mustard, man. Yeah. He's got the ability. Pablo didn't have that, but he stuck his head where he needed to stick his head. He'd fist pump it when he fist pumped it. He'd get the team going when he got it. And like you say, for me, Pablo he dragged us to another level. And for him personally, he was brilliant. And what a guy, man.
I look at Zabaleta and I look at Ivanovic as similar
I get that.
of fullback that have had an impact on the league. Tobes, go on, sorry.
1 sec, sorry, I've got it here. I went for Ivanovic, number 4.
Yeah.
It's mad. Saeed made all those great points about Neville. Neville was my honorary mention. I put him 6th, but for me, it's a preference thing. I preferred the likes of Ivanovic. I think Ivanovic for Chelsea was just unbelievable, and I think he's another one. The two I've picked, I don't think they're spoken about enough. I think when Ivanovic came into Chelsea's team, he wasn't really a starter, and then I respect the fact that not only was he able to cement his place in that team under like 4, 5 different managers, but scored incredibly important goals in the Champions League, in the Premier League, like in cup competitions as well. Defensively, he was sound, and going forward, he could attack. Like, for someone who could play at centre back as well, he really could attack as a right back. Like, he was unbelievable. Like, there was a period where I actually thought, like, him and Zabaleta, like, they were going neck and neck at it, best in the league. And I thought this guy was a robot. I was like, how are you so good?
Yeah, he was cold. I can't lie, efficient, man.
Yeah,
real efficient. We've got 1 vote for
Neville,
Zabaleta, Ivanovic.
I've got Ivanovic as well. I have to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put him in the top 3. I was like, let me not disrespect Man United's fullbacks, my friend Saeed Young, and give him somebody in there. But the thing is with Ivanovic, because this is Premier League, that's why I've put him 4th, because a lot of his big moments, like Toby said, is Champions League as well, is some of the cups. Obviously he's had big moments in the Premier League as well, but he didn't win. I don't think he won the Premier League under Conte. He wasn't part of that defence. He was part of the Mourinho defence. So that's why I'm not going to push him. Whereas Evra would have done, who I'll get onto later, did like a whole 3 in a row.
He won it under Ancelotti though.
Ancelotti, I don't know. Did he? I'm struggling to remember that Ancelotti team, because when I think of Ancelotti, I just think forward. The goals that team put in was ridiculous. But Ivanovic was an absolute tank. Absolute tank. Like, you need this guy to play centre back, he can play centre back. You need him to play right back. And like Toby said, going forward, so underrated. Good crossing ability, strong, like a ball, you couldn't get past him. And it was him and Zabaleta.
Did he have the same longevity as Zabaleta though?
Yeah, of course he did. 100%. Yeah, 100%.
I just feel like I just see more Zabaleta than I see more Ivanovic. Maybe that's just, I don't know.
What stands out for me is the game when he played against you lot.
Against Liverpool, Champions League. Yeah, 2 goals at Anfield.
No.
Yeah, you remember? You remember?
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was a left field option, and then from there it was like he just went from strength to strength.
Set pieces as well.
It's like the confidence came in. And
scored a big goal at Etihad as well. Left foot.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying.
Big game player. That guy. Big game player.
Look, Ivanovic, absolutely. I get that shout, but the way we're talking about goals, see, this is what I'm saying. This is where the disrespect for Trent comes in.
No. Ivanovic could defend. No. Shoe-horn. Ivanovic defensively and Trent, it's not even...
What I'm saying is, look how many times every single one of you has mentioned attack, assists, and goals.
That's because we know he can defend.
I'm just letting you guys know that already he's smashed
Should we all
every
just
single one of
rate
those fullbacks.
Alexander Arnold for Grizzly's sake?
No, I'm just saying, for the chat,
That's the
he
thing.
smashed
So why
all
is he
these
listening
stats
then?
already, all these goals.
Yeah, we know he smashed these stats because
I'm just saying,
Trent is an attacking fullback.
Disclaimer, he will be number 1, but...
Not number 1, number 2.
I went for...
Number 2, yeah.
Number 4, you went for...
I went for 4 for Ivanovic.
Oh yeah, so we're not on to number 3.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we're going to decide number 4.
No, 4's done. For 4 is Ivanovic. 2 votes. 2 votes for Ivanovic.
Okay.
So what we're saying about 5 then, because we
said-
can't leave it hanging 5.
That's what I'm saying. So how do we doing
We'll
it?
come back to 5 at the end.
Yeah,
we'll have to see it.
okay.
We'll have to see how the
We'll
final
analyse
looks,
it,
and then we'll come back. So we're moving on to 3rd now. So 5.
I'll get my 3rd out of the way because it's already been said. So I went for Gary Neville at number 3.
Gary Neville number 3.
yeah.
I went for Irwin.
Yeah, see, I went for 5. So I don't know. Wherever you want to went.
So did I.
Patrice Evra.
So did I. Patrice Evra. I'm telling you, Patrice Evra.
Stop this now. Stop.
To be honest,
Get the shirts out soon.
done and dusted. I went with Patrice Evra as well in 3rd.
Okay, cool.
Who did you go with?
Did you as well?
I was going to go with Zabaleta, but yeah, I'll go with Evra.
That's pretty much...
I'm calm with Evra.
That's a nice easy one then.
Quality.
Well, we might as well mention Evra though.
Evra for me, again, when you talk about attacking fullback, shout out to Cams, innit? He says attacking full. This was the ultimate attacking fullback. You know, this guy. You alright?
Yeah, man, I don't know, innit?
Can I just say something in peace?
Yo, I just saw great.
What is yo?
Why are you ignoring me?
I don't.
I'm not here.
You
Just
know
look
what I
at this,
mean, bro?
When you look towards it, look at a Coke Zero can.
Not a single Liverpool fullback's going to get in this.
No,
It's
yeah,
mad.
no, if we do this in 5 years,
Because you were
Robertson and
screwed for
Trent will be
30
1 and
years.
2.
In 5 years. We'll do that in 5
That's
years.
right.
This
down to
channel will
your
still be here in
football
5 years. We'll do it in
You know,
5 years.
Grizz, this.
I'm gonna put my hand up.
Grizz, what you need to remember is Liverpool for the majority of the Premier League.
No problem, I said,
They were slacking.
No problem.
This is not your fault.
I'm calm.
Grizz, can you
I'm
listen to me?
calm.
It's
I'm
only-
fucking calm. Calma, guys. Calma. I said I'm calm.
It's not your fault, it's Liverpool's fault.
It's Liverpool's fault for being irrelevant 30 years. That's all it is.
That's what it is.
See what I'm saying?
And I'm not even trying to be disrespectful,
You know
but
what
it's
I mean?
true. It's true.
No problem.
It's true. We're not going to bring Christian.
we literally said
Are we
it's
gonna,
about-
Saeed, are we going to bring Christian Fuchs into the fullback?
That's
debate?
what I'm
No, we're
saying.
not. We're not.
These hobbits.
Danny Simpson.
These hobbits are violating Gandalf. It's not good, mate. It's not good. Gandalf, I'm sorry.
I'm calm.
Wes Morgan, Van
We're gonna do
Dijk.
this show
It's
again
long.
5 years time.
Listen, for me, you get me attacking fullbacks, longevity 3 in a row, Champions League when you wanted him. You know, even when you look at the Moyes, when he played for Moyes, he was the best performer instead of in that rubbish season. You know, Juventus still was one of the best left backs. He still played for the first team. For me, longevity, attacking fullbacks for me, dependable. And in terms of our attacking approach, he shaped the Alex Ferguson era. Obviously, he had the worst game I've ever seen him in that first half, was subbed off. But then, if you look at the comeback after that, you know what I mean? One of the best left backs in the world.
When I look at every, I think one is you mentioned about Gary Neville.
Yeah.
And Every used to piss me off as an Arsenal fan. Every game it's men versus boys, and you know he was right about that. But there was something about against Liverpool. He'd make comments. He'd act. So I love that in a footballer. And I think we've lost that in football quite a bit in terms of rivalry.
Now he's going around eating raw chicken and stuff. He's mad.
Now he's moving mad. He's boxing soon.
Yeah, he's got some celebrity.
Adam Salah, isn't it?
But I think with Ever
way.
as well.
He might drop out the top 5 if he
Yeah,
doesn't like
he's
that.
fighting Adam Salah.
Lord, this
But I
fall
think
off.
the thing to know about Evra, what I loved about him is the impact that he had on Man United as well, because he came with a big reputation from Monaco, and he didn't settle in initially. Same for the likes of
we have Heinz.
But again, when you look at the dominance that Man United basically had on the league for the next 3 years, he was a big part of that.
His debut against City, Trevor Sinclair smashed him off the park. Ferguson took him off at half time and said to him, "Welcome to the Premier League. You need to sit in that dugout and watch for the next few weeks about the Premier League." And he admitted, I seen it on the TV, he said, wow, he said the pace, because he come from Monaco, he said the pace, he said I didn't have, he said the crowd was right on him, he said Sinclair was elbowing him, smashing him around him, and Fergie just went, but look at him, that's credit to him as well, isn't it? To come back from that and think, you know what, I'm going to turn it round, and yeah, he was a fantastic player.
But third place, Patrice Evra.
I'm happy with that.
Simple
Nice
enough.
and easy. I'll take that.
Second place now. Has anyone voted for anyone that's been mentioned already or in the list already?
I went for Neville.
You went for Neville,
Neville at
but he hasn't been put in position yet, so
No.
that's still a vote. Neville.
I went for Neville.
I can't put Zabaleta because he's out, isn't he?
No, he hasn't been put in.
No, he's not.
Okay,
so
I'll go
Zabaleta.
Zabaleta. For me, you
Second.
you know why? Because
Over Aspilicueta.
yeah, because I'm looking at how he transformed
You
Man
spotted
City.
him.
I revoke my spud.
Retract the spud.
I retract my spud.
Have you put Aspilicueta?
Aspilicueta is second.
Okay.
He's played left back in a title win. He's played right back in a title win.
centre-back.
He's played right side centre back in a back three. He's been reliable. He's been defensively one of the best fullbacks. For me,
It's better if I speak on Aspilicueta because you're a Chelsea fan.
Go for it.
Even though you haven't spoken a Liverpool fan, but
I want to rebut what he said as well.
hopefully later on you will speak.
Later on, I will give you some respect. 100%.
No trend.
Don't forget.
Aspilicueta, for me, has been the most reliable fullback, the best fullback, the role model in every aspect you can get in the Premier League.
Absolutely,
For me. Aspilicueta will be a crime if we don't have him in the top 5.
Facts.
Zabaleta, I get that. Passion merchant, everything. I get that.
Nah, that's disrespectful, man.
I know, and a good player.
Aspilicueta was
I spoke
captain
to him
as
off air and I said,
You liking
Zabaleta.
this?
No, I said to him, he's a very good player. But Aspilicueta, in terms of all the criteria that we've spoken about, And what have we spoken about? Longevity. We also said we have to talk about things that we've won. We also talk about different styles under different coaches. We also said about assists, goals. My man, Azpilicueta, captain as well.
Out and out fullback though. Out and out
Yes,
fullback.
sir.
Yeah, he was.
That's his
Yes.
prime
Out and out
position.
fullback.
What's the game?
Because he
Can
can
you
play
watch
as a
the game
rebel.
sometimes, please?
No, I
2014,
get,
2014,
I get it.
2015 season, this guy was an
Azpilicueta.
alien. Nobody
Put his
could
name
get past
there.
Azpilicueta, and that was him at left back.
Yep.
And he's not even left
people
footed.
watching
Felipe
now-
Luis was from Atletico Madrid after a title win.
couldn't get into the team.
Bench,
People
watching
and he's
now,
left-footed.
people watching Azpilicueta now because now he gets rinsed quite often, whatever. Not even now.
even
but,
that bad.
But yeah.
Who's had a better impact? Azpilicueta at Man City?
Azpilicueta.
Azpilicueta at Chelsea or Zabaleta at Man City?
Azpilicueta.
You think so?
For
Yeah,
£7 million
definitely.
from Marseille,
I
he's
disagree.
captained, he's
I
won,
disagree.
he's won every single
Because
trophy
I
available.
think
He
Ivanovic-
captained us to the Champions League win, captained us now to the...
I put Ivanovic over Azpilicueta.
No.
That's his opinion.
Because Azpilicueta, you're forgetting that back 3 season under Conte as well. Unbelievable season from him at right side centre
Multifunctional
back.
defender.
Left back under Mourinho, right back. This guy could
Listen,
play
this
all
hurts
across
me,
the
by the way,
defence.
agree with the
All
Man
across
City.
the defence.
Listen, Zabaleta's he cost less than £7 million. So
Yeah, there you go as well.
Zaba's
He's
class,
won,
though.
he's won,
He is class.
he's won the league.
He is class.
He's won the FA Cup. He's won the
But he wasn't
Carabao
captain.
Cup. He don't have to be captain. Led by example. Centurions.
Wasn't he one of your vice
Formidables.
captains?
Yeah, he's been captain before. But like I say, Centurions, Formidables, titles, played under Mancini, Pellegrini, Pep Guardiola. So it's close.
So Steve's gone for Neville.
I feel like you're just dismissing Zabaleta. Saying,
No,
"Nah,
I think
I'm
Zabaleta
not."
should have been maybe in lower if you were going to put Zabaleta.
Is Zabaleta in the list already?
To have him in second.
No. That's what I'm trying to say to
No, but
you.
we can't have him in
Yeah, but
second.
it doesn't, you can't have him in second.
I
should have had
can't
him
say ask it and Paletta. so when people look and go, Steve didn't say much. I can't say it.
Say it, Bamiyang.
No. I banged you out.
I banged him out.
Aspi.
I'm going to call him Aspie.
Aspie's
Yeah,
class.
we just call him Dave. We just
So
call
what?
him
He's
Dave.
second, 4-3.
He's
then?
a FM.
Yeah, for
he's
me,
a
second.
for my foot manager fans as well. He's an FM legend.
You know why people
FM
want to put him as right
legend.
back here? It's because people don't really know his position. Like, there's no, like people
No,
say,
they did.
right, no, but
He
I
made
get, no,
his
but if
name
you
as a
ask
right
everybody,
back. He
did.
No,
but
I get it. You
but
can't
if
disrespect him because he's won the
No, I'm not
Champions
going to
League and
disrespect
things
him,
like
but
that.
when
It's
you know
tight,
when
man.
pundits and just in general, people who watch football, they never will kind of characterize Azpilicueta as a right back. They might say right side of centre back 3, left back. You know what I mean?
No, they
Pablo
categorise him as a fullback.
Zabaleta, you
He's a
will put
fullback.
him
He's a
in that
fullback.
right
So
back
He's not a
category.
centre back in a
He's a
2.
fullback.
He's not a centre back in a 2. So he's
But
a fullback.
he was almost kind of what do
He
you
was in
call
his
it?
prime as a
Adaptable.
fullback. We're going to talk about
Adaptable.
His best ever season is him as a
Sorry,
fullback.
that's going to open up a can of worms because we're going to go into other roles and other
Yeah,
players
that's what I'm
that
trying to
developed
say.
into different roles.
Because
Yeah.
Scholes started as a second striker. Gerrard was at one
Yeah,
point
true,
a right
true.
back. Then he went midfield. Then he went winger. So
Okay.
Let's not muddy the waters. Let's not
Yeah,
muddy
exactly.
the
Yeah,
waters.
all right, cool.
So have you three all
muddied
gone
them.
with Cesar Azpilicueta second?
Yes. Yeah,
I'm gonna hold my hands up. I actually forgot. I don't know how I forgot about him, but I thought he
I can't believe it.
Because you know why?
Yeah,
Because Ivanovic
that's
is
my
ahead of
company
you
moment. I'm not
in
going to
terms
lie.
of
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot about
There you
company.
go then.
He should be in the top 5 for me, and he's obviously made it with 3 votes here.
Yeah.
But I picked Gary Neville second.
I did.
2 votes for Gary, 1 for Pablo, and 3 for Cesar. I put Cesar in second.
Cesar, yeah. I bet the comments, you know
You
what I
can do
mean?
the
we
first.
try
I
to
think
help
the first is easy.
you know.
No, no one's going to argue with that.
No one's gonna ask him. No one's gonna
There's going to be
argue
a
with
lot
us.
of, but anyway,
There'll probably be some wanky Chelsea fans in the comments that'll try to.
Yeah, Marvel and them, man.
So before we
No, what? Azpilicueta?
Yeah.
No, they weren't. Ashley Cole will come first.
bet-
Yeah,
You'd
so-
be surprised. You'd
So
be surprised.
before
it's
we
not.
go with the unanimous decision in number
Virgin
1
Army won't
position, I
disappoint
want to
you.
mention that for number 5 it was Walker, Irwin, and Dixon. But I've listened to the suggestions for 4-3-2-1. Dixon's name hasn't come up again. Walker's name hasn't come up again. Irwin's name has
Irwin
come
has.
up twice. So Irwin goes into 5th position for us here.
So Zabaleta doesn't make this list.
No, but does Walker.
So Irwin 5th. Ivanovic.
How many times did Zabaleta come up though?
He came up twice.
Yeah, but he never actually won a decision.
He never won a
Yeah,
decision.
he was never
yeah.
top of a decision.
Oh, right.
Whereas Irwin, Dixon, and
That's harsh, man.
no, it's not harsh.
It's hard.
It's tough, but there's a lot of good fullbacks.
It is what it is.
Come on,
It's
man.
calm,
There's a lot of
it's
good
calm,
fullbacks.
it's
So
calm,
it's
calm.
Irwin number 5, Ivanovic number 4, Evra number 3, Azpilicueta number 2, and number 1,
Ashley Cole.
Ashley
Cole.
Cashley Cole.
Ashley Cole, man.
Biggest pagan the league has seen.
I guess you can speak on him then. No, good. No, it's good if Turkey speaks on him then. Because I get the rage and I get the fire and I get the animosity and everything, but speak on the player.
Now listen, if there's a few players I hate in the Premier League in football for what they've done to Arsenal. Ashley Cole's one of them, but he's one that I can't deny his achievements. I can't deny his credentials, not only for Chelsea but for England too. And playing well for England's a rarity in that era. In that era, no English players used to go to tournaments and come back with any credit, bar 1 or 2. And Ashley Cole was always in that 1 or 2. You know, he faced the best wingers in the world,
as well.
and he came up trumps a lot of the time. So for me, actually, it goes without saying, we all agree on this.
And at Arsenal as well, and a couple of times at Chelsea, he showed he can attack as well. But one point I want to argue against is you calling him a snake, because I'm pretty sure your own manager has come out recently and said that with the Ashley Cole situation, that's one of the situations he regrets, because it was something that could have been resolved with just a matter of pounds. So it's clear to see that this guy would have stayed at Arsenal.
So you're trying to say he knew his value?
Arsenal, being cheapskates as they were, didn't give him the cash, didn't give him what he was deserved, and he went.
Listen, you know what I feel about Arsenal.
So don't give him that snake talk, because you lot should have given him that paper.
Could you give Sol Campbell trophies?
Oh my!
That's why he came to us.
You're gonna do me like that. I literally have no.
Have you ever seen Tony speechless?
It's like he hit a brick wall. Because I was just thinking of 08, but Campbell's done by then. Campbell's not waiting for that Carling Cup in 08.
But Campbell didn't want to stay.
I can't believe
Ashley Cole did. Campbell didn't want to stay. Ashley Cole
Listen,
did.
they got Gallas in return. Gallas was a top player.
Gallas was class.
Happy days.
But he became a crybaby at Arsenal.
Happy days.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
A lot of players cried during that time at Arsenal. A lot of fans cried during that time. So I still cry thinking about that time. So the less said on that, the better. But Ashley Cole, let's Matisse round it up on that, because we've seen him.
This guy dealt with everyone. He dealt with Ronaldo. He
On and
dealt
off
with
the pitch.
Messi. yes. But he was unbelievable. He was unbelievable. Like, you know, we talk about fullbacks in terms of their defending. He was the best fullback at defending at that time. He was the best fullback in the world. Going forward, he was getting goals for us as well. Big goals, big assists. Great crosses for Didier Drogba at the Emirates. I know you'll remember the whole beat in the chest in that 2010.
No, I don't remember.
You do. Carlo Ancelotti.
You don't remember, innit?
Carlo Ancelotti. Do you know what I mean? Him and Drogba linking up. He was unbelievable.
I remember
man.
that season. He scored a great goal against. We got hammered 3-0, and he scored against us that game as well.
Goal against top, and that left hand side of the defence, him and Terry. You're not touching it. No one's getting near. No one's getting near. So for me, it goes without saying.
It's unanimous, isn't it?
Unanimous.
When you call left back
footballer.
proper left back, it's Ashley Cole. He had everything: pace, power, physicality. Even for a small guy, physicality. You know.
But just the art of defending 1v1, he was the master of it. You couldn't get past him.
Even in his last season as like a starter for Chelsea, I remember when Jose came back the second time, the 13-14 season, like he was rock solid for Chelsea that year at left back, and that was him at like 30. I can't even remember how old he was.
34, 35, yeah.
Like
and you know what? And you know what? When you hear him speak now, you realise that he wasn't about just pace, and when you hear him speak about football now, you can tell that he knows the game.
Yeah, he knows his stuff.
And so he might have come across as a bit of a Jack the Lad and whatever, blah blah blah, and all that. The foolishness with Arsenal and fans and leaving and whatever. But you can tell he knew the game. He knew what he wanted when he was on that pitch, how to do it. He had it all calculated in his head. So you can't argue with Ashley Cole.
He was one of the few fullbacks that wingers were actually scared to go up against. That's
Ronaldo.
Rare. That's rare. Unanimous people. Ashley Cole in number 1 position. Just to run down the top 5 again. In 5th place we have Irwin. That it was joint Walker, Irwin, and Dixon, but Irwin got majority of votes heading into the top 4, so he picks up the 5th place. Ivanovic number 4, Evra 3rd, Cesar Azpilicueta 2nd. And Ashley Cole unanimously number 1.
Decent list.
I like that list.
Strong list.
Make sure you get Zabaleta in the list, man, at number 6, man.
Yeah.
I don't think you fighting enough for it, man. You should have fought for it.
Zabba or Gary Neville for number 6.
I'd say Lee Dixon, but it's up to you guys, people. It's up to you guys. Let us know.
That's a one, man.
Pinned comment, again, under the pinned comment, I'm only taking those votes in. Let us know who should be 6th place in the top 6 Premier League fullbacks of the Premier League.
We're going to do this in 5 years' time.
Did you have Trent in your top 5?
We're going to do this in 5 years' time.
Because you never spoke about Trent.
No, I don't need to speak on Trent.
He just kept on saying in 5 years' time.
5 years' time.
So hold on, in 5 years' time, they're going to have the best fullback, the best striker,
2 fullbacks,
the best central defender,
Yes.
the best manager,
Don't forget that.
the best hot dogs, the best lights. You know what I mean? Fucking hell, it's going to be
Keep going,
peak.
you've got about 4 fingers
It's going to be peak, man. It's going to be peak over
Under
there.
a lot of pressure to win
It's
the
going to be the
title.
best
In the next few years, they're going to be invincible. They're going to win the treble. They might add a Centurion to that.
Big dog.
We'll see you guys in 5 years to round this up again. But until then, this is the top 6 of the Premier League era.
Trophy, then.
No.
I doubt it. Listen, love for the love, people. Hit the like button. Get this one to 1,000 likes, and I'll see what I can do about the top 6 centre mids of all time and how soon we can bring that to you guys. But listen, you've got the top fullbacks today. You had the top centre backs yesterday. Make sure you show some love to those videos. Make sure you go back and watch the goalkeepers too if you haven't already. And as always, people, make sure you support the man then. Matisse, Grizz, Steve, Tobes and Saeed. All channel links in the description below. As well as mine. I keep forgetting this is the Big Six channel. I'll put mine in there too. Subscribe, follow, share, do all of that stuff. Make sure notifications are on. And we'll be back, people, for the top 6 centre mids of the Premier League era.